Okay, so this is something different that I have not done on this channel before, but I'm just gonna kind of go over basically a quick book review of a book that I picked up. A lot of gun people like to read books, especially, you know, depending on what you're into. There's a lot of different things out there. A lot of good reference material, very well put together, stuff like that that you can't really find online to the same capacity. And to me, it's always nice to thumb through a book. So with that being said, part of my gun library here is basically I picked this guy up. This is the second edition Book of Glock by Robert A. Sadowski. So this is a very comprehensive book. Obviously you can see right there, Comprehensive Guide to America's Most Popular Handgun. But anyways, this is a very good book for anyone who enjoys Glocks, collects Glocks, wants to learn more about Glocks, or generally just want a decent read in terms of learning about, you know, Glock's lineup. This book, I picked this up for $19.99. The retail on the back shows $35 US, so I picked it up on Amazon pretty cheap. I figured for 20 bucks, there's no harm, no foul on this book. But you can get into here. The pages are a little weird. It's a little narrow in terms of the layout, but through the book, there's definitely, I can get to it. There's a lot of sidestep here, and they allow for a lot more images. So this book has a lot of really good images. And they go really in depth in terms of like barrel proof dates, stuff like that. I mean, every time you turn a page, you're getting some different information. You know, basically timeline of development, how, why, you get thorough specifications between different generations, like Gen 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the Glock 19. Get a decent story about it. And it just goes through each model that Glock really makes. And then, like I said, it's very thorough, a lot of good information, a little bit about different contracts that Glock was able to, you know, procure, or that they went into contest with, some of the original designs. Then it gets into, you know, rare, unusually marked Glocks. So you got, you know, geez, like the Alaska statehood. There's 100 issued of a Gen 3 Glock 29, giving you the serial number and stuff like that. It has slide engraving with an image of the state. So it's kind of cool because you can kind of know that if like you pick up one or you see one in the store, you got some information to learn about in terms of collectability and stuff like that. There's different models, different engravings. I mean, and it gives you stories, you know, like the Glock Mariner, which was a Philippine contract that fell through and they ended up selling them all. And then when you get to the back, you get detailed field stripping, disassembly, really goes through, very thorough again, talks about different components of the pistol, talks about different, you know, basically how to put things back together, how to take things apart, very detailed. You have diagrams across the board, and then it gets into even shooting techniques with the Glock specifically. So then it gets into stories about, you know, Jeff Cooper, modern techniques, kind of where the Glock fell into play with that. It's really, I think, a very good addition to really anybody that is thinking about getting a gun. I would just say go ahead and get it, or getting the Book of Glock, or that has a Glock and wants a really nice read, especially to kind of go through things. Again, it's kind of a cool reference book. For the price, for $19.99, it's really, I think, a great deal for the amount of material. I mean, there's 400, I don't know, like 430 something pages. So, but yeah, I think it's really good. And I do think that it's thorough enough that you'll get a lot out of it. So, the thing is this is the second edition. There is a first edition. You can get that a little cheaper, but I don't believe it covers the Gen 5. And then one issue is that this second edition doesn't cover all the Gen 5s. Excuse me. So the Glock 20, Gen 5, stuff like that, it's not covered in this, but you definitely still get the last generations. I mean, I think I will assume that by the time they start filling out their Gen 5 slots in their marketing, that they will make it, or Robert Sadowski here is going to make a third edition of this book, and I might pick that one up. So, like I said, really cool book. Not a bad thing to have for a gun enthusiast, and to kind of put together a little gun library. Nice reference material for sure. So that's kind of something I want to do in my gun room here, is kind of get a bookshelf together for various books, load data, stuff like that for reloading. I gotten a few, and they're all been pretty good. I'm not much of a fiction book enthusiast, so I definitely dig reference type books. So, all right, let me know what you guys think, and do you have any experience with this book? Or do you think this is just a big joke? I don't know if you guys are gonna dig this, but I picked this up and I've been reading it for a while, and I thought it was a good enough book to make a comment on. So, all right, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think.